No DQ Galaxy, we are live, and no, it's not Aaron's voice you're hearing. Nay, it is good old JM. As it says, filling in for the boss. My goodness, what a crowd already here in the room. I love to see it. Shout out to all the early birds. God, I was trying to type them in as I went here, and there were just so damn many of them, I couldn't catch them all. So let me go ahead and really quick here. Daniel, Joey, Jonathan, Sean, Matthew, Calvin, Martez, Ryan, Steve J, Matt, John, D. Martin, Fifth, Brendan. Where did I leave off here? Give me a second here. Michael Wayne, who is busy until Friday. He'll see us draft night. Aaron will be back for draft night, so don't worry about that. David is here as well. Hello, David. And Daniel says, since I watched a clip of Triple H reviewing the championship, they got me hooked to see who's going to give it. Hope it's Cody. Brian is here as well. Dave is beastly, I guess. Andy's here. My goodness, everybody's here. Look at this. Paid enthusiast. Joey, as I said, is here. CC Drink is here. Big G is in the house. Master Gordon and Walter Cruz all here. Also, shout out to the boss man himself, Aaron Rift, and the missus as they enjoyed their vacation away from the craziness of no DQ. And well, as I say that, as say his name and he shall appear. And of course, Aaron, I'm glad to do it. Shout out also, and Aaron, I want to make sure you hear this, boss, before you go back to your vacation. Shout out to my sister Teresa and her family for allowing me the Spectrum app login so I could watch Raw on the East Coast time feed and give this recap a proper due. So thank you to Teresa and her family for there you go. No Dynamite background yet. There will be coming up on Wednesday. There will be Mr. Mayhem is here and Endeavor is here. My goodness. Yeah, there are no days off. We are the Darren Youngs of professional wrestling now because we get no days off, brother. Let's see. Will Aaron be here for draft night? Yes, Aaron will be back for Friday night's SmackDown recap as well as the recap of next week's Monday Night Raw. So again, everybody, and then, there you go. There it is. All right, so let's just get right into it. This is simulcasted on TN. No. Nay. It will not be. So let's just get into it, guys. Let's go ahead and talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. The show started, of course, with Cody Rhodes out to discuss where he should go in the draft. And I unfortunately missed this segment because I was trying to get the feed to work, and it just was not happening. I was having login issues, so I did miss a good chunk of this, so I apologize for that. But basically, Balor came out and again, offered Cody a spot in the Judgment Day. They're Bullet Club buddies or whatever. So Cody respectfully declined the invitation to join, and then Balor was kind of huffing and puffing and acting like he did. He wasn't going to get a response out of Cody because Cody wasn't medically cleared. Cody revealed he was medically cleared and that he put a challenge out to Balor for later in the night, which of course happened at the top of the third hour. So we'll get to that later on. $5 super chat from our buddy Son. Oh, I can never say his name, and I feel like such an asshole. So Son Gushaku. I'm sorry, Son. I feel like a shithead. I apologize. This Jey Uso and Sami Zayn storyline is kind of starting to remind me of the Naruto and Sasuke story. As on anime WWE fan, I'm cool with that. And if you're an anime fan, I'm not, but I do appreciate the reference. My niece, my niece is a big anime fan, so I'm sure she got that if she's watching. Yeah, it's and we will get to Sami and the Usos here momentarily, but yeah. So Cody and Balor made for later, and then the Bloodline came out. They had their match. It was the LWO and the Usos against LWO versus the Usos and Solo. Usos and Solo having their a 6-man match, kind of a warm-up, if you will, for Backlash. The LWO, of course, will be at Backlash, represented by Selena Vega as she challenges Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Good match. Joaquin Wilde started off pretty hot, but the Usos neutralized it right away, and then the LWO made a comeback. They all did dives to the outside. We took a commercial break. They came back, and Cruz del Toro came off the top rope looking for a top rope move, and freaking Solo just spiked him right in the throat, and that was the end of that. It was academic after that, it really was, but Usos hit the 1D instead. So there was anyway. So one and done. The Usos and Solo defeat the LWO. No real surprise here. The Usos need to stay strong. The Anoa'i need to look strong. The Bloodline needs to look dominant as they go into Backlash to face a challenge from the new tag team champions, and of course Matt Riddle, who we also saw later. And again, if you guys want to get a topic that is bring up something that is off topic what we're talking about right now, please super chat. It'll get in there. No worries about that. Let's see. Matt, of course, there's a great match. Of course, the LWO didn't win. I've also mentioned Eddie Guerrero and the LWO got new music. How angry is Chavo? Chavo looks kind of mad. Yeah, we'll I'm sure we'll talk about that either on the No DQ review or more like a Mike Night this weekend. Either way, definitely little shade thrown from Chavito at the Sports Entertainment World. We'll talk about that later this weekend, I'm sure. Where are we at here? Okay, so Usos, of course, got on the microphone after the match and say they're going to regain the championships on Friday. Kathy Kelly backstage shown with Bianca Belair. Bianca was getting ready to react to Io Sky being named the number one contender for Backlash. She will face the Raw Women's Champion on May 6th. And, of course, Damage Control's got to come in and do their thing and erupt. It looked like Io wanted a piece of Bianca Belair tonight, but Bayley, as she do, interrupted and manipulated into a 3-on-3 match that would happen later in the night. And Io definitely looked a little put off by the fact that she wouldn't get a piece of Bianca one-on-one tonight. But of course, as I said, we will get that match coming up in Puerto Rico on May 6th, which, by the way, we will be covering Backlash over on the, if I didn't put it in here, I meant to. I didn't. Over on the Jet Media Network Multiverse of Media coverage on May 6th. We'll have full watch-along coverage as well as open mic night afterwards and exclusive footage of a certain Disney cast member from 2 days prior to Backlash in a galaxy not so far away, but, kind of far away, at least from here anyway. By transit. So talking more about that. So I appreciate that, man. And again, I'm sorry for botching your name, dude. I feel like an ass. But yeah, go back to 2002 with No DQ. It's cool to be here. And yeah, I agree. It's kind of one of those, they're putting Io in there just to have them something to do. I think they're still leaning toward the breakup of Damage Control because, they really need to get those three on momentum again, and none of them are having that right now. They're stalling big time. So let's get back into the recap. So backstage after the commercial, they came back to Jey Uso on the phone. He's ordering food, and he runs into Sami Zayn backstage. And Sami's like, "What do you want?" And Sami kind of derides Jey Uso for dedicating the supposed impending victory on Friday. Of course, the Usos are going to challenge Sami and Kevin for the tag titles on SmackDown during draft night, and they dedicated the match to Roman rather than fight for themselves. And Jey doesn't want Sami to worry. He says, Sami made his choice, and whether you like it or not, I made mine. So it is what it is. And yes, Aaron, I wholeheartedly agree. The LWO had a nice entrance, but they just lose too much. You know what? So did they did in WCW too. That was the problem. It's too many world orders, right? It's even though there's no world order in the WWE now. I mean, Bloodline's kind of done like the LWO. But anyway, Walter Cruz, the $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. Much appreciated. LWO equals loser world order. They lost in WCW, and over 20 years later, history repeats. Anyway, share this video. Say yes, no DQ. Hashtag shtick to my shtick. And I did. I tried, son. I really did. Well, we'll have to have a talk. Well, we got 100 people in here. I appreciate that, you guys. Thank you very much. Let's work on the pronunciation next time we're on the show together because I hate messing up your I hate messing anybody's name. After 20 years, I should know better than be more professional and know my co-hosts and my people's names. So anyway, Sami and Jey still beefing. They did a recap real quick of Trish's turn and her promo that she cut, which I kind of danced around criticizing it when I was on the No DQ last week, but when it happened. But this past week, I got to acknowledge it was rough. I watched it back. It was a rough go around for Trish. And somebody, I forget who it was on Twitter, made a funny comment because Trish interviewed with Kathy Kelly backstage. She got all dolled up, like did probably 2 hours of makeup or something for a 30-second spot backstage with Kathy Kelly. She looked great. Don't get me wrong. She looked fantastic. But it was like, okay, that was kind of worthless, wasn't it? So anyway, Trish looking good, though. You know, I'm never going to complain about the way Trish Stratus looks on television when she comes back. And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's a good point. You never it's one of those. The LWO is back after 20 years. Can't believe that. But where I clicked on the wrong one here. Yeah, it's crazy. I've been around 20 years with no DQ, and LWO's back after almost 25 years, which is even bonkers. Trish did look better in the promo, and again, she kept it short and sweet. You know, talking about making people thank her. She made Kathy Kelly thank her, and she walked right off. So that was good. What's next? Well, Premium Sisters was WWE or WWF at the time, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, yes, Walter, she does. She always looks good. She's got that Benjamin Button thing. I mean, that's kind of weird to think about going, you know, in hindsight, but Trish ages like fine wine while I'm over here aging like milk. It is what it is, folks. So after Trish's promo, they showed the Street Profits coming out. They had a match with Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, who got no entrance. Big surprise. The Street Profits win. Also not a big surprise. And then Triple H was shown the little graphic saying Triple H out next. And here's where the big announcement came. We were looking forward to it all day when they talked about Triple H's big announcement. Darth Vader, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Micha Mania's running wild, brother. That's it. Son says, I believe Bianca will surpass both Trish and Asuka's title reigns. Well, she could. Very true. So the big announcement was not that they're going to split Roman Reigns' WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. No. Nay. At Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia on Saturday night, May 27th, we will have a new World Heavyweight Champion crowned within WWE. Okay, so I don't mind the title. I don't mind the title being introduced even. But Aaron made a great point over on Twitter, and I have to back him up because, well, you know, it's no DQ, not Jeff's show. Filling in for the boss. It feels like a consolation prize to whoever wins, however they win it, right? It very much feels like it's just, okay, we couldn't, nobody could beat Roman, not even the Undeniable could halt the Unstoppable, as I was trying to get out there as a tagline for WrestleMania. So we're just going to give them the consolation prize. It's like freaking winning the pricing game on Price is Right and then botching it at the showcase. Like, what the shit? Endeavor shouldn't be happy with this. Nobody should be happy with this. And again, consolation prize. Like you said, Endeavor, absolutely. Aaron said that, and I wholeheartedly agree with it. The reaction to the title, the championship itself has been mixed, but there you go. Undisputed means no dispute, no argument. Instead of splitting, they made a new title that makes the title disputed no longer undisputed. Right. What I think is going to happen, and we were kind of going back for this in the group chat. Well, I wasn't involved in the group chat. I was taking notes for this damn show. I think they should keep the Roman's reign, if you will, but keep the lineage of the WWE Championship once he loses. That makes any sense. Because the championship goes back 60 years this year. And they've made it a point of hyping up the 60th anniversary of the WWE Championship, the WWE itself this year. So I think that whenever Reigns does lose, whenever that may be, because now, God, it's wide open now whether he loses it or not, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know that the World Heavyweight Championship will be awarded. As I get a text, I need to check this because it could be important. I apologize, Aaron, if you are yeah. Shout out to Lisa watching. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. I know I'm going to mute here. It's going to look weird. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. This was the best looking title design since the 02 to 05 WWE Championship. Yes, Yeah, it very much is a tribute to the Big Gold. And I even said to Aaron, I wasn't exactly hoping for the Big Gold to be rehashed again, but this is a different take on it. I mean, if you look at it, it very much has the Big Gold feel. It just has that ridiculous WWE logo in the middle of it, which, again, I'm not necessarily mad at this. It's got a good hybrid look to it, so I'm okay with the belt. I'm just not okay with the meaning behind it. Like I said, it's consolation prize. D. Martin V with a $5 super chat. Again, thank you, D. Martin. Will the new world title carry the lineage of the original Big Gold or the World Heavyweight title? No. It sounds to me like it's going to be a new title. Now, keep in mind, Walter, as you say, I'm a little hurt. I want the Eagle back. Don't count out the return of the Winged Eagle as the WWE Championship just yet. We still may get that. So, in any event, let's see where we're at here. Roman will say this in a promo. No one could beat me to the point they had to create a new title. I am the best. I mean, that writes itself, right? It really does. So let's see. Big Gold Belt. There you go. Big Gold Belt fused with the WWE Network logo. While the title's not bad looking, it should have been introduced when Roman lost. I have to agree. Again, I don't like the Jose, I don't know if that's going to be the case because they've made it, you know what, as I say that though, I did have that thought in my brain that maybe they're putting so much emphasis on the history of the original championship because they're going to retire it. Wouldn't that suck? God, that would suck. I would hate that. I really would because I am such a fan of the WWE championship. And again, we don't know what show it's going to be on. Whatever show Roman ends up not being on will host the new World Heavyweight Championship. But we'll get more into that, I'm sure, after the draft and after the champion is crowned at Saudi Arabia, Night of Champions. So they go to the back. Damian Priest is back in the back, and he tells Bad Bunny to back off and don't, get involved tonight, and he'll spare him, and he's going to exterminate Mysterio tonight. Damage Control comes out before the break. They do a Bronson Reed hype promo, which, I like Bronson. I just don't buy the multiple repackages, but we'll see. They then, instead of going to the ring for the match with Damage Control versus Bianca's team, they go to another area backstage. Jimmy Uso's bragging about a super kick party on Friday, which I like. Ooh, we'll shot at the Bucks there. And Jay was very distracted, very worried about what's going to happen, and kind of let Sami get in his brain about Sami saying, you're doing this for Roman, not yourselves. And Jimmy freaking sent it back into place, or at least he tried. So we will see how it happens. Finally, we go to the ring, and Bianca's introduced, and out come the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, to team with Bianca. Good little back and forth match, I guess. They went to a break and came back, and it was made crystal clear because I didn't hear this when Damage Control was talking to Kathy and Bianca, but it will be Backlash that Io Sky faces Bianca Belair. Bianca actually pinned Bayley after a KOD, so there's little symbolism there. They went to another break after. Let's see, they did a recap of Reed interfering with Lashley and Theory's match, and then laying Lashley out. Theory came out for a promo. He said he should be the new world champion, not having to defend the triple threat. Lashley came out to punk Theory. Bronson Reed came out and attacked Lashley with Theory's help, and then laid Theory out himself with a tsunami. So held the U.S. Championship high. So they're definitely getting behind this U.S. Championship triple threat deal. So we'll see how it goes. We will see what happens with this U.S. Championship triple threat match coming up at Backlash. Yet another break. No, actually, take that back. So they go backstage. Earlier in the day, even though Boogs and Elias are talking about the Triple H announcement, which was like less than an hour ago at this point. Elias brings in Chad Gable to explain the draft situation to Boogs because apparently Boogs is an idiot. And as Gable's explaining to the two of them about the draft, he's saying he's taken precautions and made assurances that he and Otis will stick together. Maxine came in and said, no, I'm doing the same. I'm the one who's assured Otis will stay with me. Ali came into the picture because we got to get Mustafa Ali involved in there. We got to stay positive, and you could Chad Gable could be the world champion if he but that means you have to break up Alpha Academy, and then what would his career be worth? Which is nothing, because it's not anything without Otis. So just fun little, like, well, let's get the jobbers on the air show, on the air for a segment, and then they went to break. And as they were going to break, they showed Bad Bunny's Instagram feed showing him arriving in the Rosemont, Illinois area, which is where, of course, the Allstate Arena, the Rosemont Horizon is. And then they finally went to break when Gable was coming out for the match. And when they came back, Ali came out, announced from Chicago. I forgot he was a Chicago boy. And he actually beat Chad Gable. I thought that was pretty cool moment for, I mean, I don't think it's going to really amount to anything other than, they got to win over Gable. And there's definitely cracks in the foundation of Alpha Academy. So, it is what it is, as we say on No DQ and on the Jeff Meacham Network, kind of, it is. It was just a here's something to fill the time segment, because after this they did the another segment backstage with the with Jimmy Uso this time, and Sami Zayn, saying that Sami stayed out of their business, and remember, Kevin used you to get to the tag titles, and when you guys lose the titles to us on Friday, you'll be turned on again like you always are. And instead of worrying about my brother, referring to Jay, worry about your brother, referring to Kevin. So a lot of back and forth, a lot of hype for the tag title match coming up on SmackDown. Of course, that's this Friday. It's night 1 of the draft. Aaron will be back again to recap all the goings on. And I am going to be talking about the visit to the Allstate Arena at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. We'll be talking about a certain straight edge current AEW talent, so I promise I'll address it. Let's see here. So then Balor came out to face Cody. After the first break, Cody came out, did his entrance to the Wolves. I undersold that. It was awesome. I always love seeing that because I love Cody. But I took a beating for a good part of that first before the break. Cody made a comeback, and it was pretty even after the commercial, and then Cody hit a pedigree, fired himself up, hit the crossroads, got the 1, 2, 3, and then exited through the crowd, stopping for selfies along the way. And then they recapped Bad Bunny's last time he was at Raw, where, of course, he got kind of attacked by Dominic Mysterio, or at least an attempt, and then, of course, Priest laying him out. Rollins came out for a promo. Seth freaking Rollins, I need to make sure I do that right. Seth freaking Rollins came out for a promo and was asking Chicago what they felt about his match with Omos, and said he's also focused on something else, and kind of gave the World Championship a stare down and walked over to it. And I took detailed notes here. So he said the crowd was going, "You deserve it," when he was talking about the championship, and Rollins made it go, "Oh, Chicago, is that because I'm a Bears fan?" Of course, they're in Chicago. They love the Bears. And Rollins reminds everybody that Triple H is going over a list of people that Roman has defeated in this 1,000 days, but who was not on that list? Because if you recall, Rollins won by disqualification at the Royal Rumble match he had with Roman Reigns in 2020. I think it was last year's 2022. Will Kings in 6. They'll win Saturday. They'll win tomorrow. They'll win tomorrow in Edmonton, and then they'll come back here and win the series Saturday. They better, because I'm going to that game. Anyway, so then Rollins said, Roman thinks everyone has what he has, but some still want to fight for championships. Some still want to push the industry forward and an opportunity to be a world champion and not a politician or a part-timer. And Rollins gave Chicago one guess who he put his money on to be the next world champion, but out comes Omos at that beckoning. MVP to refute, of course, with all respect. MVP lauded Rollins' accomplishments, his impressiveness in WWE, and his brilliance, aside from his fashion choices, which, I'm not exactly a fashion maven, but, Rollins is definite questionable. But it's the accolades that MVP mentioned off that has MVP wanting and fighting for and getting the match with Rollins and Omos coming up at Backlash on May 6th. And then Rollins said, "We should thank MVP for the kind words," as they're serenading him, of course. And he says he understands. He undersold Omos. Tallest man he's ever seen. I mean, 7'3" is large. He's a big dude. I saw him in person at WrestleMania. It was crazy. Strong as hell, once in a generation, but because he was born once in a generation, while Seth Rollins made himself a once in a generation talent and says he should be afraid, but he's not. He's going to make Omos famous, and he'll wake up from a stomp and a 3-second nap with the crowd singing his song. And of course, the crowd goes into the serenading again. And just really cool little moment. I thought, again, this is a throwaway match. They're adding it to get these guys on the pay-per-view, or the premium live event, excuse me. And it was just feeling like kind of but I enjoyed this segment with Omos and MVP and Rollins. It really made me a little bit more invested with it. And I know that some people are still like not into it, and it is very random, but anyway, well, Psycho with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Psycho Jet Black. What happened to the reuniting of the Hurt Business? Good question. We saw all of them on the show tonight and no reunion. So maybe we'll get that at Backlash. Maybe that'll be a thing with Lashley becoming U.S. champion and Omos getting the win. You never know. I'm actually rooting for Dallas. I know it's going to piss off Dory and the sports bar. I'm actually rooting for Dallas. I have a friend that works for the Dallas Stars, Ryan. So absolutely, go Dallas. Although they're playing Minnesota, which I think the hockey and you keep people going, what the hell are you talking about? The synergy in hockey with Minnesota facing Dallas, I think is pretty cool. So they went to a break after they showed Rey Mysterio warming up for his match backstage. They talked about Make-A-Wish and WWE being partners for 40 years, which I thought was, God, that's as old as I am, 40 years. And they showed alumni from the Make-A-Wish grants over the years, so it was really cool to see that be a part of the show. One of my favorite parts of the show, and I hate to admit this, but they showed Riddle backstage strategizing with Kevin. Kevin's just sitting there just dumbfounded because it's Riddle. Right? And look, Sami walks in and, "Where have you been all day?" Where have you been all day? He's just flummoxed dealing with Riddle all day. And Sami dances around it, but he finally admits he's been talking to the Usos, and Kevin is just verklempt. Like, why are you talking to these guys? Why do you care if what happens to them if Roman if they lose and Roman ditches them? Why do they care? If they don't know that Roman's using them by now, they deserve what they get. That was a common word throughout the Usos thread with Sami tonight, was deserving. So yeah, it's gonna be a hot show coming up on Friday. I'm looking forward to it. I am working Friday, so I'll have to catch it on DVR on Hulu, but I will definitely be checking it out because it looks really good. I'm not going to lie. And then they ran down before that, Kevin stomped off in frustration, and Riddle stands up because I know exactly how you feel, bro. And Sammy's just, how could you possibly know? And Riddle, to his credit, makes a great point. He goes, people are always talking about when I was with RK Bro and Randy was going to RKO him and he never did. And you know why? Because we're bros. At the end of the day, you and Kevin are bros and everything will be cool, bro. And Sami, thanks. And he walked away. It was like, oh God, Riddle's the voice of reason and the voice of sense. I'm scared. Walter says he wants a Riddle character change. It offends the functioning potheads of the world. I always think of my pothead friends when I see a Riddle, and a lot of them are just like, oh God. I guess Hank with $2 super chat on he is where he is right now. He missed the announcement that Triple H made, so I will briefly go back and say he announced a new World Heavyweight Championship that'll be awarded to somebody at Night of Champions coming up in Saudi Arabia. That was the announcement Triple H had. So, Hank, enjoy the rest of your poop, and we'll move along with our night. So after they did the segment with Owens and Zayn and Riddle, which I thought was funnier than hell, they ran down the card for Backlash, and then they went to Bad Bunny's Instagram feed again. He was shown arriving to the Allstate Arena, and then Rey Mysterio came out, commercial break. They announced Brock Lesnar will be on the show next week. And he says back, and they kind of implied he's going to explain himself for what he did to Cody Rhodes, but I'll believe that shit when I see it. The last two segments were Priest and Damian Priest and Rey Mysterio one-on-one and back and forth. Priest dominated most of it. But then Rey made a comeback. So Priest got frustrated with the continued kickouts. He went to the ringside, grabbed a chair. Rey batted that out of his hand. They fought over the chair. Damian went for a chokehold, the South of Heaven. Rey reversed it into a 619, went to the top ropes to drop the dime, I guess, or the frog splash, whatever you do now these days. And Priest hit him with the chair, caused a DQ. Went to go continue the assault. Bad Bunny's music hit. Out Bad Bunny comes with a kendo stick, enters the ring, whacks the living hell out of Priest. Priest tries the goozle, gets fought off, gets whacked some more, bails out through the crowd and around the other side of the stage. And then Bad Bunny says to Damian Priest that he's no longer going to host Backlash. He's going to Puerto Rico to kick his ass. And it's going to be Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny in a street fight coming up at Backlash on May 6th in Puerto Rico. So there you go. Son, good to see you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Always appreciate when anybody can come in live when they can do it often. And I appreciate the praise filling in for the boss. It's hard. I forgot how intently you have to watch these 3-hour and 2-hour shows when you're taking notes and going to do a recap. So it was a bitch. So Aaron gets nowhere near enough credit from the outside world. You guys show Aaron the love, but the rest of the wrestling media just is shitty and they're bad about it. So Hank says another $2. Thank you, Hank. That's the news. I figured it was Vince was gone. I hope that was Vince was gone. No, it's not, unfortunately. Anyway, Walter said I called it Bad Bunny. No way Bad Bunny is wrestling in front of somebody. Yeah. And again, so we've got Bad Bunny wrestling in Puerto Rico. We got Zelina Vega wrestling against Rhea Ripley. It's going to be a cool show. So that was it for Raw. Raw off the air with Damian Priest retreating, claiming he's going to, we're no longer friends. We're enemies. And it's going to be Priest and Bunny coming up at Backlash. As far as Punk goes, yes, it was said by several sources that CM Punk was at the Allstate Arena today, where Monday Night Raw took place, of course. He actually made it backstage and was saying hello to people he hadn't seen in a while. And again, this is all, rumor and innuendo. Take the news for what it's worth. But apparently he stayed for a little while, and then it was allegedly the word from Vince McMahon that Punk had to leave. And apparently, if he was there, to his credit, he said his goodbyes and left. So I believe, it's the stirring the rumor mill, just getting people to talk about it. And yeah, the rumor, they made mention, one of the reports made mention of Punk and Miz making amends, which I think is cool because I've always been a fan of, Mike Mizanin, known him for his entire career, so it was cool. He and Punk made nice. If there was video of him outside talking with Tamina, then I guess he was there. So, again, I talk about the ODQ review when I'm on with Aaron here on this channel. I talk about it on Open Mic Night almost every week now with Killian's last Saturday, which I'm so sick of talking about it. But if they can just get everybody to sit down and make nice and just grow up, they can make serious money on CM Punk's return to AEW, working with the Elite, working with, people like Kenny and Takeshita, and, get that match with MJF. It's ridiculous how petty it is that we can't just get people to avoid leaving a truckload of money on the table because they can't get over petty crap. So, and Punk was there. So there you go. And yes, Kalea, I know you're not watching, but Mercedes Ronda will be at the New Japan show in Long Beach. So JJ and I are more than likely going. I'll talk more about that. Potato. There you go. All right. So thank you all. That's really it. That's all I had. We're on the recap Raw. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in to the show. As far as a letter grade, since I know Aaron does letter grades, I agree with Ryan Dempsey, a solid B+. I really felt the first hour dragged. And I even mentioned this to Aaron and Caitlin when I was talking to them during that first hour. It took forever to get to 6 o'clock or to 9 o'clock for East Coasters. But once we got there, it moved. It just moved. So B plus, good show, decent matches. Not a whole lot of I thought was unnecessary filler. But yeah, it was the first hour dragging brought it down from an A. If the first hour had been as well paced as the other two, I probably would have given it an A minus for real. So coming up this week over on all our channels tomorrow, JJ and I are going to be recording our show for May 5th, which will be top 10 characters from Star Wars. That'll be aired on May 5th, Friday, May 5th. Dory Lou's Sports Bar will go live tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern. NXT, of course, is right after that. And then I'll be back here on No DQ and across the multiverse of media with Talk Wrestling. That's all tomorrow. Wednesday, of course, JJ will have his review of 8 Mile on Renegades Reviews, a 2-hour Super Spin Spectacular from the Greg Cherry Show featuring Kate Hensler, AEW Dynamite, of course, on TBS, and then I'll be recapping Dynamite here on NoDQ.com at 10:05 Eastern. Throwback Thursday on Constantine Studios, showing content from all of our channels in the multiverse of media. And then we ran out the work week with JJ's review of Burlesque on Renegades Reviews and Aaron's recap of night 1 of the WWE Draft for 2023. And we hit the weekend running. JJ reviews the new release for Saturday, Renfield. We have open mic night Saturday night. JJ has his weekly acquisition report, the Warzone, Sunday early afternoon, and we go live with the No DQ review coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern. That's everything going on the Jeff Meacham Network and the multiverse of media. So thank you all very much. Let me get the super chats here real quick. Did this guy experience with a $5 super chat? Thank you, this guy experience. So we just going back to 2003 when the Undisputed title was on SmackDown, leaving Raw with no title, so they brought back Big Gold, but this time a new belt. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what happened, right? Because 2002, they brought back the WCW Big Gold, and Triple H was on Raw, and the other championship was on SmackDown. We just don't know what show Roman's going to be on yet. That's the thing. That's part of the announcement was Triple H said, whatever show Roman isn't drafted to, which really made it feel like a consolation prize when he said it like that. Well, whichever show fails to get Roman, we'll give you the B show. We'll give you the secondary title, which I thought was shitty. And follow up, what do I think of the Lilo and Stitch remake drama? Didn't know that was a thing. And I work for the company, so if I don't know, that's bad news. May the 4th is coming up, and Aaron will be all over that, I'm sure, May 1st through 3rd. So be on the lookout for that over at NoDQ.com and the Aaron Rift social media accounts. All right, guys, that's it for real. I appreciate everybody tuning in. There was over 100 of you in at one point, so thank you so very much. That's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com and all the content across the Jeff Meacham Network, multiverse of media. Thank you all for watching, and as always, say yes to NoDQ.com. Have a great night, everybody.